My name is Emily.
My name is Shanti.
And we choreograph.
I am the soft concrete.
I think this piece began with us both having an interest in contact improv. We kind of already knew we had similar ways of movement and we wanted to just explore that. We just kind of booked a studio space and started improvising together, and that sort of led into what the piece became, which is an exploration of femininity.
This idea of being one entity, going through this lived experience and presuming being a female and what that feels like in the trials and tribulations of womanhood and girlhood, and how we're taught to be feminine and soft, but in reality it's a hard descent into womanhood. It's not easy, it's not something that comes with grace. You should allow yourself grace, but it's not graceful. I feel we just kind of spiraled into this conversation of what it feels like and what it looks like being dragged around by your self, and this feeling of abandonment and also embracement of one another, and how you really put yourself down, and what it feels like to deal with that turmoil of loving yourself and also really hating yourself.
Oh yeah, I was thinking we could talk about the constraint, because I feel there's a constraint, but then there's also that freedom. Okay, anyways.
I'm excited to read the
I started dancing when I was 2 years old, and I think it was heavily because of my mom growing up being a dancer. I took 3 to 5 classes until the age of 10, and then at 10 I started getting a little more interested in what dance actually was, and I think I kind of realized I was kind of skillful at certain things. My mentor, the closest teacher I had at the time, was just so good at storytelling through her choreography, and it's something that I really wanted to do as well. It wasn't until college when we have composition courses, which are just kind of focusing on different ways to choreograph, where I really learned that this is what I want to do, just because of how much of it is storytelling and being able to express vulnerable parts of yourself without speaking them out verbally, through movement, is very interesting to me.
I've been dancing since I was 14 actually. I started a little bit later in life. I started in modern dance. Being older, trying to navigate dance and the way that I move was a little bit, I feel difficult, just because I didn't have that base ballet training, especially going into modern dance. But I still figured it out and managed, and then I met someone who kind of introduced me to hip-hop randomly. I always kind of knew I loved it, but once I took a class from that person, they made me realize that I love it. And so I was doing modern dance and hip-hop dance at the same time. And then I was applying for colleges, and I had to go back into my modern contemporary bag in order to submit, and it was an interesting experience doing that. And now, excited now, I feel college has sparked being a choreographer and what that path might look like for me. And
A theme of our improv was carrying each other and letting go of each other a lot. And I remember after the first or second rehearsal, I texted Shanti, and I just kind of was thinking in my car after about how us carrying each other throughout the piece could be the embodiment of we are the same person. I'm carrying you because you're me, and you're carrying me because I'm you, and we take care of each other. But also we to crawl our way out of each other because we try to abandon parts of ourselves we don't like. And I think I sent that text, and then from there she just had even more ideas and expansions on what this could turn into.
I think we flow pretty easily together. I think when you get comfortable with someone, I learned from this one person, they're in order to make good work, there has to be no boundaries.
It's very ooh, I like this, can we try this? And I'm I like this, let's do this right after. It's just kind of a constant cycle of yeah, or that didn't feel right, let's try it again.
And just honesty,
yeah,
you have to be that didn't work.
Yeah,
and
that was a little silly.
That was silly. And maybe one person's that didn't feel silly to me, and then we just try to figure out why did it feel weird to you and not weird to me, and then there's like this like conversation of just like figuring things out. And it's fun. It's really fun.
No, it's really fun. I love it.
I love it.
I love it.